Hi, everyone. As you can see, I'm right here outside of the Hall of Mirrors at the Palace of Versailles. There are no more parties here, no more dancing. King and Queen have been dragged off to Paris to await their execution. So I'm here to update you about our projects, though. What I wanted to update you first is some good news. The due date has been shifted to the 15th of April. Hopefully, we'll be back in school by then. Also, I wanted to talk about some common modes that people are using to do their projects and some tips with those. Overall, there's a lot of people using newspapers, and I just wanted to remind you to check out the newspaper checklist on the project resources. It's called Checklist for One Newspaper Article. Make sure that you check that out and you use it as you create each article. Some general notes about collaboration. I know it's a little more difficult given our circumstances right now, but please try to do the best you can digitally. There are so many resources out there to be able to collaborate online. So take advantage of them. If you're struggling for ideas, reach out and I'll try to help you with that. And please don't just do your part in isolation and then put it together at the end. Try to be collaborating as you go through and giving each other ideas. It'll make for a much better project. If you are doing a podcast or a diary, as many of you are, make sure that you include images somehow. You could, if you're doing a podcast, you could put it into a video software and then overlay pictures that are depicting what you were talking about at the time. A diary, you could do the same thing. You could read it and put some emotion in there and have images going at that time. You could sketch drawings. You could include drawings off the internet. Whatever works, but just make sure you're checking out the rubric as you create to incorporate all of those different ideas and those different requirements. It is a 100-point project, so it should be great. We have extra time, lots of time locked inside with not much else to do. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what you create. A lot of people are asking about length. How long should it be? And for articles, newspaper articles, diary, typically three quarters of a page to a page do the job, but it's more about the content than it is the length. Again, make sure you're including images. Videos vary. You are doing 5 different stories, so probably 5 minutes would be minimum. A minute for each story, and 15 minutes would certainly 3 minutes a story would be getting towards the long end of a project or of a video. So I try to keep it somewhere in there. I know that's a huge range, and you probably could do it in less, but I don't think much less. Make sure that you're telling your story from the viewpoint of someone who lived during that time. I know I say this a lot, but those are the projects that I get that don't do well. It is because somebody gives me a history report and they're not putting themselves in the shoes of someone in Paris or in France during the time of the Revolution. So make sure that you are doing that. Like I said, some big overarching ideas. Number one, make sure that you are checking the rubric and the requirements for the project as you go on. Reach out to me with any questions. I am always available by email. I'll set up a couple more sessions like this morning. Thank you for those of you that popped in. It was nice to see and hear some people. And I'll be in touch soon with continue to look at the announcements each day and see what's going on. We'll start with some new assignments and new material on Monday, talking about Jacques-Louis David, the artist that made some of the paintings you see behind me, and more of the events of the Revolution leading into Napoleon. So everybody stay safe and take care. Bye.